Understand I was the first in my family to go to college. And my mother was so adorable, we didn't have a car, and a friend of one of my brothers brought me to college. And she was so adorable, she leaned into me and she said to me, listen, if you don't like it, you can always come home. I know, Mom, I know I could come home. But this was a leap of faith to send her little daughter out into the world. Children of poverty have a totally different experience in life than children of wealth, even moderate wealth. Experiences are never the same, and you look at the world sometimes as a very frightening thing because you have no conception of the world. My brother and his wife are so fortunate. They have fabulous children that they've sent to other countries and to other states. We were lucky we got to Allentown, and going to Hesses was a big thrill for us. I came to Bloomsburg truly unaware of the entire college experience. I told the story at the table. I said, I came with a friend. I was a majorette at Liberty High School. And I really had no plans to go to college, although I never had a B in my life. Now imagine that you're that bright and you never think that you should go to college. A lovely Bloomsburg graduate named Joe Gribbon was a teacher of mine at Liberty, and he leaned over and he said to me, I heard you're going to be class speaker. I said, yes. He said, what college are you going to? I said, I don't think I am. Bethlehem Steel had offered me a fabulous job, and that could help to support my mother. And he said, I think you need to go to college. And I said, he said, I have a good friend at Bloomsburg. His name is Harvey Andrus. He said, do you mind if I give him a call? I said, no, go ahead. He said, I'll get him a little application for you. I said, okay. So I went home and sat with my mother. We had a three-legged kitchen table that was propped up on the windowsill. And I said, listen, Mom, my teacher said to me I really should go to school. I said, but you know, if I go to Bethlehem Steel, I could really do a lot. And she said, I want you to go to college. Just do that. I want you to go to college. It will change your life, Beverly. And so I did. And this lovely, lovely school embraced me. From the moment I came on campus, I came with a friend named Susie Tagler, and Susie, I said, was majorette with me. And we came to visit because she was thinking of going to Bloomsburg. And we were walking up the steps by Carver, and a lovely group of young people passed me and said, welcome to Bloomsburg. And I said to Susie, Susie, I'm going to Bloomsburg. This room is filled with people who took care of my soul as well as my mind. I felt I had a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous education at Bloomsburg. But more importantly, I met people who took my soul into theirs. Jack Walker, I love you so dearly. John Walker, I applied, and I had a PHEA grant, I think it was. And so there was a $30 application fee at the time. And I didn't have $30. And John Walker called and he said to me, Miss Tonches, we got your application. And I have to admit, looking back on it, it must have been a heck of an impressive application. He said to me, but you didn't send your $30. And I said, Mr. Walker, I just thought that was going to be covered by the grant. I don't have the $30. And he said to me, Beverly, it's $30. And I said, no, Mr. Walker, if you have money, it's $30. But if you have no money, it's $30 million. And so he paid that for me. I absolutely. There's a lovely family, the Marshalls, who were like parents to me while I was here. And it was so joyful to think that I had a safe haven to go to, and they were as loving and caring to me as my mother was. They had a lovely, lovely son, and through that young man, I met my Danny. And my life is so rich for having this man stand behind me through all of this, because when your wife is out there doing 100 hours a week, it's lovely to go home to someone that says, just keep doing it. John Scrimger isn't here today. While I was in college, I was a junior, and I came down with some terrible sickness, and they thought I had Hodgkin's disease or leukemia. Well, I have no insurance. And so they took me over to the hospital, and they said, we have to do some biopsies. And I called lovely John Scrimger, and the gal in his office was Jane. And I said, I don't want to tell my mother that I'm ill. Could you help me? I don't know what I'll do in return, but could you just help me get this treatment? And I don't know what they did, but they did.
My heart will always be at Bloomsburg. I don't think I was here 2 weeks that a group of young people didn't walk up to me and say, how would you like to run for vice president of women's government? When you're afraid of the whole world because your world is so tiny, it was such a marvelous moment for me to see that somebody recognized in me what I felt I had. And these were people who didn't know me until that moment. One of the nicest things that would happen while I was here, I also met a young lady named Cindy Rogers. And Cindy, till this day, we tell lovely stories about Cindy because she just brought such joy to me and to our group of friends over at Bloomsburg. Well, I had just gone through the biopsies for this illness that I had, and I had bandages all over my body. And she came to my room in her way and said, there's a fabulous coach. There's a new coach at Penn State, and this will make you feel better. I just think you have to go. It was 1969. You have to hear him because you're going to like it. I said, Cindy, look at me. I'm bandaged from head to toe. She said, you always look good in yellow. We're putting that little yellow dress on you. And she got me dressed. This is the truth. And she walked me to this banquet. And as I sat there, they said the speaker was late. And I'm looking at the little program, and it's Joe Paterno. And I thought, oh, you know, I've heard of Joe Paterno. I think my brother Tommy really would like to play for him someday. That's all I knew. And so we sat, and Joe was late because his car broke down on Route 80. We were just talking about it, and he was fabulous. In his way, he spoke, and he was magnificent. And afterward, I thought, oh, this is the greatest gift I can give my brother Tommy. I'm going to go up to this coach and ask him to sign that little program. And I had the program. And I said to him, Coach Paterno, my brother, I think my brother wants to play for you someday. And he said, what is his name? I said, Tom Donches. And he said, Bethlehem Liberty. He's a fabulous ball player. You tell him we're looking at him. Well, what a moment. You have to understand what a moment this is. Joe Paterno became probably one of my brother's greatest mentors. Tommy played for him. Joe was given the strict orders from my mother, I will let him go to Penn State, but you are now his father. You didn't have a father. And Joe took that very seriously, sometimes too seriously for Tommy's sake. But Tommy and our family were so blessed. You come to understand at a certain point in your life, no one gets to where they are without so many lovely, lovely people saying, yes, you can. Go ahead. My gift in starting this Cops and Kids program was to give back to the community of Bethlehem something that was given to me, a belief that I could. We grew up in a project. My mother never had a pair of shoes. So when we got honors, my brothers would go with me and I would go with them. But my community made me believe I could do anything, as did Bloomsburg University. And so I wanted to give back to that community something that I felt was long-lasting. And you'll forgive me for saying this. Writing a check just didn't do it for me. I knew I had to give part of my soul. I think it's in my DNA to truthfully. My poor husband, I don't know how he puts up with it. But I felt that I had to give me. And so we started a little program, and I came home and I said to Danny, this is going to be fabulous. It's going to be my Thursday project. When you retire, you have an every day of the week project. And I'm going to give out 1,000 books. And we have just distributed our 396,000th free book to children. But more importantly, we have given the children not only of our community, we did a drive up here in Bloomsburg as well with some young, wonderful young people from Bloomsburg. We've given them a part of our heart. I want to tell you this final story because I think it's very touching about what literacy means and how we change lives. They had a group of 100 little girls, and every day they took 50 of them and said, you're beautiful, every day. And the other 50 who are just as beautiful, if you've ever seen little children, like the few that are here today, they're all beautiful. And the other 50 they didn't say that to. And at the end of that time period, they asked each of the little children to describe themselves. And each of the little girls that was told they were beautiful said they were beautiful, and the others did not. I was told every day that I was magic. My mother said that to me, every day of my life you will change the world. And for a little girl who grows up in the projects with no money, and really not even knowing what the word college means, how lovely that I met all these wonderful people to give me a nudge just when I needed it. Bloomsburg is still and will always be a friendly college on the hill. We are each of us are part of that lovely puzzle that we call Bloomsburg University. And we have a responsibility to go out into the world and give of ourselves, to make a difference in whatever community we live in, with whatever group. Mine happens to be children. But believe me, there are people who need our kindness forever. I kept a letter for years when I was at Bloomsburg. I was a smiler. My mother taught me to be a smiler because she felt what you give to people in that smile is priceless. And I kept the letter for a very long time. There was a walkway. Now everything is buildings and the campus absolutely looks fabulous. But there was more openness then. And there was a walkway. And I said hello to everybody. It just was my nature. And I went to my mailbox in Waller Hall one day, and there was a letter. And this little girl wrote to me, and I don't know who it is. I've never known. And she said, I have to tell you something. Life is getting pretty tough for me. And I considered committing suicide. And then I passed you on the walk, and you smiled at me. And I knew I must have some value because you smiled and said good morning. My only charge to you as human beings from this fabulous, fabulous institution of higher learning is to take your smiles out into the world and touch people's lives wherever you go, every day. And if each one of us does that, I'm telling you the world will be a better place. I am better for having been here. I am better for having known all of you who are here. You touched my life in ways that I can't even begin to tell you. I am so proud of this college. I am so proud of this honor because of who is at this college. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart.